How we going? A bit going on in the world, isn't it? We had that speaker, Charlie, assassinated. Not a good thing. You know, this is, and I'll say it. People are starting to say it, but people have been thinking it for a long time, right? But I'll say it. I don't know if I'll be the first to say it, and I won't be the last. I know there's plenty of people thinking it, right? You, whatever you want to call yourselves, the left wing, right? I don't care, right? Just, you know, if you people who just want to cause a drama, right? Do you want to resolve anything? Like you Aboriginals, right? Black Americans, you Palestinians, you Muslims. Do you want to resolve anything? Because the way I'm looking at it, and a lot of other people are, you don't. You don't want to resolve anything. What do you think would cause people to not like us? I'll tell you. With the Aboriginals, you just want more. You just take more. Can't climb the rock? Yep. You thought you had your laugh? Yep. Nah. You know what? We don't want them even taking a photo of it. Who are you to say I can't take a photo of what? Fair enough if you're in it. Right? You know what you do, people out there? When you turn around Australia and you see Aboriginals, go and take a photo of them. Right? Because they believe that you've captured their soul. But they'll put a price to that. Well, yes, you will. It's $5 or $10. Yeah, isn't it? And you team your money together and you get on the piss. Right? You know, I recently went to America, right? And I spoke to Indians over there, Navajo and stuff, right? And they weren't like that. And they were pretty much, you know, like the Jews, they were persecuted, mate. They were almost, you know, ran out, killed off. But, you know, they run casinos over there. You Aboriginals can't even get 2 sticks, barely make fire. But you know how to get money, don't you? The only way, and you Muslims, right? Why do you want to come to a country like this? You've got all that land over there, all those other countries over there, over in the Middle East. They're vast amount of land. Right, what have you done? How have you developed the land? You haven't. Nowhere. You haven't. You haven't got traffic lights, you haven't got buses, nothing. Right in the middle there, you've got Israel. And that'd be the only place where you say it's a up-to-date city. Got, you know, hospitals, it's got public transport, it's got everything like that. And all of you people around it just want to bomb it. Kill them, and everything like that. Saying they take lives and everything like that. And you other people that have got, if you're going to open your mouth in this world, right, be prepared for this, right? There's such a word called, it's now, don't get shocked, because there is a word, and it's called facts. And when it comes to that word, and facts, these are the facts, right? You got to listen. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. People have done a study, like you do your studies. Not well though, because you don't know what you're talking about, right? But do the facts, right? Even in America, black Americans will say, yes, there is a problem with our culture, you know, the black American, African Americans, right? There is, right? Why? Right? I don't understand. Yet you black people have got so many people to look up to that have done so much with their life. Muhammad Ali, Denzel Washington. You've got all these people, you know. Muhammad Ali was a Muslim, you know what I mean? You know, Islam. I mean, he didn't disrespect women. But the ones here in Australia, Why do you want to come to a country that you're just not going to be liked in because of the way you treat women? You treat women with no respect. As much as you'll have all these Muslim women stand up and, that we all know what goes on behind the doors, they're scared to say otherwise. Right? It's like the same thing in ethnic families. The boys in the Greek and Italians, the boys are always looked upon better than the girls. It's a no fact. It's a fact. Okay? It's a fact. Alright? So let's just get over the bullshit, okay? If we all want to stand together, you know what we do? We walk as one. We don't see colour, we don't see race. Right? But we all have to have the same similar opinion in regards to how we treat each other. It's not how I treat my people. I don't have a people. It's how I treat people in general. Right? And that has to be across the board. So, if you're not going to be, look, you're right, you want to talk about conformity. There's parts of overseas that if I was to go away with Mary, right, okay, she would have to wear a veil. She would. Or else she'd get fined and even put in jail. There's parts of the Middle East where I remember 3 years ago, a man, he was just touring, hiking around the world, right? Hiking, that's all he was doing, hiking. And his mother slipped in a small little Bible, that big, little one, little ones, those little ones, there. And he went through one of their border crossings, and they came across it. It was a Catholic Bible, right? Christian Bible, right? He was jailed for 7 days, and for every day in jail, he got 3 lashings. That was his punishment. And then when he was released from jail, he was sent over the border. So he could not, that part of his journey, he had to delete. People are all about power. Yeah, no. Adam Halcoon said, not Adam Halcoon, another person on Facebook said, all we have to do, if we want to scare our government, our world leaders, no one go to work for 4 days. No one buy anything for 4 days. No one go anywhere for 4 days. 4 days. We all stop. And then you'll see the government and our world leaders paying attention to us. We've got all this history that says, that the little man can rise up and can get his word across. And that the way they did it was they weren't violent. They didn't form gangs. They did things together as one. When people walk as one, that's a big that's a lot of people, mate. You want Australia, we haven't had a civil war here. Let me tell you, if we were to have a civil war, I can tell you who's going to be in it, right? You're going to have English, Scottish, Irish, Greek, Italian, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese. They are the people who colonised this country. And did we all forget that this country was built off a sheep's back? It's wool. It's wool. Yet sheep are grown everywhere, and even the Middle East, and yet your blokes are doing nothing. You've got where's the industry in the Middle East? Where are your brains to develop some sort of engineering? It was the Arabs that found the oil. They made a deal with America for 50 years. They'd only sell oil to America because they couldn't turn to their own people, like the Middle Eastern people and that, whatever you may be, whatever you're, the Sunni, whatever, Shiite, whatever, right? They're religious, by the way. That's had any idea on how to build an oil well. I mean, you just have to look on YouTube and see that they're stupid as workplace accidents. They're either in the Middle East or they're in India. I mean, God almighty. You want to divide a country? Yeah. Do what you abos did. And if you abos don't know what's going on, don't shut up. People jump, because you told something. Get out there. The best thing about when I was growing up with our teachers had actually left school. They did their university, whatever they did, right? But they didn't go straight back into it. They got jobs out there, normal jobs. And they toured around, they started families, they had families. So when they came and they were starting to teach, they'd already lived life. They understood it. What is a person going to teach a child or a student if they've gone from prep to university, straight back into school teaching? What do you got to offer? You've got nothing. You don't even have a story to your life. You don't even have a story. Oh, but you don't need to. Yes, you do. Kids, people in general, remember better when there's a story, there's a why. I know that 2 and 2 equal 4, but Mr. Wintle, he said this is how it equals 4. You know, the teaching, you know, we are a country of 26 million, and some people think that that's not enough. Well, it is enough. In fact, there's too much for this country. Because the more you go inland, the more barren it is. You understand? They're like those areas of sand and stuff. They're like, say, on your skin, pores, glands, sweat glands. You can't build on them. You build on them, you're going to heat the earth core up. Something's going to go kahilt to you. Another thing I can't understand is how come people can't understand how you can actually number how many people should be living in this world. If a farmer has 400 acres, he knows how many cows he can have. It's 1 cow per acre. Right? Now you might say he's got 400 acres, or 400 cows. Well, you'd be an idiot. You know why? Because you want to minimise your cost on the feed, so you grow your own hay. But then you don't want to chewing through paddocks that like you, so you've got to move them around. So you need a spare. You're growing. That's your growing area, right? Now you've got to have another area for where you can have them grazing, and then other parts with growing and stuff like that, and then calving, and then you have your wool separated, and all of this. You spastics. God almighty, mate. You people need to understand how a farm is, how a farm works. I've walked into some farms and I've seen a bull, a horse, a donkey, a chicken, a rooster, a goose, all mixed in together. You know what? They're all getting along, mate. All getting along. Right? You know? Maybe because, they don't eat meat. That might have been the reason why they're getting along. But then, you look at the animal kingdom. Jesus, if you want to look at racism, mate, the animal kingdom is racism. They will only breed with their own. They will only hang with their own. Right? And they'll fight they'll fight each other, and they'll fight the others for it. And what I put, what we best represent in the animal kingdom. What animals we best represent. Right, not as an individual. For me, I believe I'm like the gorilla. Not because it's strong, no. Because I'm calm. I don't raise havoc. You don't hear me walking through the bush. They've only filmed gorillas having sex twice. Do you know how they have sex? She lays down and he stimulates her. That's a fact. So when people say we're like the chimpanzee, I go, no, we're not like the chimpanzee. Chimpanzees are mental heads. The most lethalest ape out there. They'll rip your face off. You can't trust them, they'll bite. And all of this, right? A gorilla, the gorillas, they don't like to fight. They will not, the two silverbacks will do whatever it takes to not come to blows. You know why? Because they've both got the intelligence that they'll hurt each other, and one will die and the other one will be either maimed as well and die later. That's how strong they are and how smart they are. They know that. And it's actually the female gorillas in these who decide whether the leader gets changed or not, or by how they stand by him. And if they stand by him, that other guerrilla who's combating won't even bother. Doesn't matter whether he's big or small. Yeah. You know what, but if you put us all in a group, you know what best describes us in the animal kingdom? Hyenas. Hyenas. They distrust each other. They're always bullying. Might be because it's female. The female actually the leader. I don't know. That was a bit rude, wasn't it then? But you wanna how you stop racism? You people stop talking about your colour of your skin. And as for your, transgender people, mate, it was so much easier just when it was lesbians and gays. It was so easy, mate. It was easy. Hello, how are you? Oh, don't like men, no worries. I'll look over here, right? And that was fine. But now you're going to mix it all up, and then you push it on our kids. There, so, we're going to get along? Stop seeing colour. Stop looking at someone's stop looking at who they are and pay attention on how they act. Yeah. Oh, look, I'm sure there was some atrocities out there, but there would have been on both sides. It's like, the Torres Strait, Torres Strait Islanders, and that Mabu, his island, right? Right? When they were all going through that court case and that, about his land and stuff, the judge actually took the jury members over to the island, and he wanted to point out one thing, that there was a lot of shipwrecks around those islands, and a lot of the shipwrecks went down there because they hit the coral reef. People, yes, did drown, but there were a lot survived because it was very shallow water. And of course they get to shore, right, and that's the natives, Torres Strait, right, and they thought they were saved. They knew they were, different, they're bigger boned and stuff like that, darker skin. That's because of the sun. They didn't have anything. That's why. That's all it is, right? And you didn't save them, did you? You ate them. So over 400 skeletons strewn through the island there. They ate them. So really, when you look at your own history, is it that good? It's no better than ours, mate. A lot of those villages don't move. You're not nomadic. So because you're not nomadic, all the animals in the area get to know where you are. And they pass it generation. Until one day where you haven't go, hey, we've walked for 3 weeks to get food for our night out, and there's not even enough food to get home. Oh. And there you are. I'll tell you one thing, right? So the Aboriginals say that they were here 70 million years ago. Okay, all right. Let's think about that for a minute. So 70 million years ago they were here, were they? Well, kangaroos were quite large, they're very aggressive. Right? Didn't eat meat, but they were still very aggressive. Wombats were the size of a car. Like even today, you'd be going hell for leather, trying to kill one with a stick and a stone. And a boomerang just doesn't come back. Right? So, yeah, and the Aboriginals didn't hunt, crocodile. No, they killed them, yes, in fear, if there was if there was a bad one in the water. With the crocs, though, you don't have to be in the water, mate, for them to get you. And they're strong, mate. No, that's strong. But I'm over this shit. You're over this shit. We're all over this shit. What we need to do is come together. And if you're in someone's country, this is what I also want to say. If you're in someone's country, don't just their flag. On one, because you've seen one person on how they act and the colour of their skin and who they pray to, you've judged them straight away. more and more we walk into toilets and we start seeing puzzles put together, that'll tell everyone that people are actually starting to talk to each other again, like we used to. Get along. Instead, we've got idiots in government that like spending money, and it becomes that tight out there. When people are worried about financial stuff, violence comes. I'm not a fan for it. I don't like violence. But you know what? Sometimes you just need to smash someone in the face because they need consequently, and we all know those people, right? Yeah. We start walking as one, and you Palestinians, you filthy buggers, you come here and you've protested now for 103 weeks straight. For what? For what? What do you want us to do? We're not in a war. Go back. You fled it. Let me tell you something about us Anglo-Saxons. We're honest. We are honest, mate. You go and ask an Englishman and his wife, why they come here? Because they got a better life. And they bag England. Yeah, the expats, they bag it. And they love it, this country. When I ask a Leve or an Italian or whatever, they're always, the mum and the beautiful food, beautiful food, But, it's beautiful, it was shit. Say the truth, it was shit. Your mum and dad are out in the fields, mate. There's no money in Italy, it's broke. Like Greece. Right? And that you came here for a better life, you wouldn't have got one over there. You've been able to come here, go to school and form organised crime. There you go. And you drop the reins and you turn to shit. Now there's no kingpins out there. Who the fuck is going to get off their ass and walk down the street and go, right, I'm running this place? Huh? They wouldn't do it now. Because the youth of today are very scary. They don't give a fuck, mate. But you Lebos haven't changed. I was going to the bank the other day. And the Lebo was eyeing me off. His three mates were in the car behind me. And he's looking at me as he's walking past. I looked at him. As I passed him, he's going, what's your problem, mate? I said, no, I've got no problem. Why are you looking at me? What? No fist is thrown. No, not a thing. Right? And one of his mates in the car jumps out, comes running at me. This is on Nibbert Street. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to the ATM. You know what top I had on? I had that top that says you are enough. And it said on the back, Yeah, and he says, what's your problem? I said, mate, obviously you can't read. And you look at the top I'm wearing. Does it look like I want a problem, you dickhead? Fucking Lebos, mate, I tell ya. All you people out there, why aren't you being factual about history? At the end of the day, the only way we're going to get anything done is we start walking as one. Doesn't matter who's up the front. If we're all marching as one, we're all up the front. That's the way you get things done, mate. Not this way. Yeah. And as for our government, hello, Jacinda Ardern, run. I'd suggest for running. You're not going to be able to live in this country for too long. With what you've done it, you're stealing in your backroom deals, And you said, you know, what a joke, mate. You are a joke of a man. Not even a human being with what you've done. The tunnel systems, all that money, what a waste. For what? And all the roads are getting done. Potholes everywhere, bloody people are dying. Yeah. And bullshit. Go get a pie, okay? Walk as one, with one flag, okay?